Welcome back to Tusi TV, ladies and gentlemen. This is your global news channel. Amaya Tusi and the Arab coalition have been in touch with each other. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates leading this from the front following the attacks by the IRGC from Iran earlier today. Of course, we did a whole live coverage on that. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But over the last few hours, since the US military started their Project Freedom, which was essentially to send the US naval assets through the Strait of Hormuz to liberate the international oil tankers and commercial vessels, the IRGC started launching not just at the vessels. A number of vessels have been hit, but also at the UAE, because they are blaming the Emiratis as usual. And we're going to give you guys the latest update on this. There are a few things happening behind the scenes, but also mostly publicly as well. And we'll get your reaction live as usual. First, let's go to one of the videos we've finally received from the UAE following the missile attacks and drone attacks as well from the Islamic Republic side. Fujairah's oil industry zone in the UAE was hit. This site was actually hit by a drone strike, not a missile. Yeah, in the middle of so-called ceasefire. Now, there have been some precautions, primarily from the countries right next to the Persian Gulf, including Bahrain and obviously the UAE. There are a couple of statements as well we have to go through from Saudi Arabia, because they are the ones who really want the regime in Iran collapse. After Israel, it's actually Saudi Arabia that really have the appetite to see the end of the Islamic Republic, and for obvious reasons as well. The IRGC with their Shia empire have been trying to conquer the whole region, and they haven't really done a good job so far. But they're not really that competent at being Bond villains, but they are very good at destruction. They're very good at that, but not really good at winning. The reaction so far. First, we're going to start.
Salaki,
Shalom. Isn't just
Hello, Yahbashim, Shabashim, Kalkadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops, a great millstone, even the elders that came for them that taught us truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word. Truth and in sincerity, the hopeful like tabernacle of David and the Eli Yashawan, back with the World War III daily update. And this guy is an Iranian national who lives in England. And he probably wants the Shah, Reza Jr., to go back up in there and rule. So he's just making a bunch of shit. Arab states prepare to launch attack in Iran. I don't think so. Not according to the scriptures. Because here it says, what do we want? 15. Here it says the Iranians are going to join forces with the Arabs and run the Americans and the Israelis up out of there. 2 Ezra 15 and 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their natures. And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence to their power, and shall flee. So here, these Gulf states are solving and overcoming their differences, coming back together and overcoming the Assyrians, who are the Israelis and the big and the little Satan, if you will. All right, so watch a little more of this because this guy's just spinning the other side. So come on, Tusi.
Teachers and administrative staff across nurseries and all public and private schools nationwide. This measure is being taken to ensure the safety and well-being of the educational community. The situation will be reviewed on Friday, the 8th of May, and the period may be extended if necessary. Now, obviously, this is the whole point, by the way. You have public statements. During any conflict or some sort of geopolitical crisis, you have public statements and what political leaders would say. Then you've got the second tier, which is the government and militaries briefing the media. Now, that's the second tier of what you get. And the third one is actually judging the situation based on what's actually happening. So, for example, hypothetically speaking, the leaders in the UAE could have come out today and say, nothing's happened, everything is fine. And actually, the Islamic Republic made a mistake. It happens, whoopsie. They could have said that. But if you also at the same time have this statement from the Ministry of Education, you can then say, okay, what they're saying is nonsense because behind closed doors, other things are happening. Now, obviously, in this case, the political leaders in the UAE are also absolutely outraged and have already clarified that they reserve the right to defend themselves and retaliate against the Islamic Republic. We also have this from the Ministry of Defense in the UAE that have now announced, this was about a couple of hours ago, so it has been updated. I'm just waiting for the latest statement, but it says that the Ministry of Defense, the UAE air defense systems engaged 12 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 4 drones.
Does it say they returned fire? So that's Tusi. Let's see. UAE retaliate. Let's see what this brings up. How a month ago, officer shot near the White House. This is going on right now. A month ago. 1 month. I don't see anything. 4 hours. Iranian drone missile attack on UAE. Okay. It says nothing about a counterattack. Okay. Iran has been checking the UAE. They did it again, what, yesterday or today? It says, and missile. UAE reports missile and drone strikes incoming from Iran now. So they're not threatening about SA. Arabia retaliates 2 months. 2 months. 2 months. Nope. Nothing. They're not talking about it. They're not doing it. They're about to get the U.S. up out of there is what they're about to do. So now let's go to this guy. What's his name? This is Steve Ram. Steve Ram says, shot up. I don't want shots fired at the White House, do I? I wanted to see. I didn't want Steve Ram. Weird. I didn't want Steve Ram for that. I wanted Steve Ram for this. Salaki, bear with me while I get this. Steve. I wanted Steve for this here. War breaks out with Iran. That's what. Where's it at? 13 days. Videos. 6 days. Live. War breaks out. This is 5 hours ago. War breaks out with Iran. Okay. Something like that. Iran attacks. This is a day ago. In the Hormuz Strait. But this here, war breaks out. So let's click on this. War attacks erupt. Okay, so let's see what old Steve is talking about. After about 15 more commercials. Bear with me about the show.
Coming out today, May 4th, 2026, as we're here. News coming out today, May 4th, 2026, as we're hearing that war has erupted in the Middle East. We're hearing the ceasefire has failed. Iran is doing preemptive attacks. The UAE is under attack. Iran is claiming.
So, officially, the war is back on today, Monday. Monday, May the 4th. Okay, so they're saying that the war is back on today. Moving forward. Ceasefire over.
That has hit U.S. warships. The United States is denying those claims, and the U.S. is now saying it is hitting Iranian boats. War is back on. So for those of you that have been saying that we were going to enter back into another round of conflict, it looks like you were right. Let's take a look at the latest headlines coming out today, May 4th, 2026, so that way you can see it for yourself. The UAE says that it's under attack from Iranian missiles and drones. Despite the ceasefire, you can see 11:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, May the 4th. So in the last 2 hours, these reports coming out.
So this thing is officially and in the news ratcheting back up with even they're saying that the Gulf states are going to hit back. We're going to see if the Gulf states are going to hit back or if they're going to what they're going to do, if they're going to form up and run U.S. up out of there. Like the scriptures say, we'll see when that's going to happen. We'll keep our eye on it, but it's looking like, from the chatter on both sides, this thing is taking off again. And we know that nothing is going to come of it because prophecy has to take place and the CHIP has to come before things get real bad.
Now issues a Strait of Hormuz threat after Trump says the U.S. is going to be guiding vessels. U.S. denies Iranian claim that it hit an American warship as Trump launches a mission to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We're hearing that this is the claim coming out from Iran. They're saying we have hit the U.S. The U.S. is saying this is false. So we have varying narratives coming out. And take a look here on X. You can see some of the posts that have been coming out here breaking Iranian.
That's wars and rumors of war. Oh, they hit us all. They haven't hit us. That hasn't happened. Wars and rumors.
GC hits U.S. warships in the Strait of Hormuz. 2 missiles reportedly struck American warships near Jack Island after it ignored Iranian warnings. Here is a video that is circulating around social media as they're claiming that there was an attack. Now, the video is generated by Grok AI, some are saying, but right now it is circulating around that there are attacks happening in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, let's take a look at the live feeds coming out from The Guardian here. You can see Middle East Crisis Live. The UAE says that it has intercepted 3 Iran-fired drones. The U.S. denies that Iran has hit a warship near the Strait of Hormuz. So we're hearing that it is back on today, May 4th, 2026. Attacks are happening. War is erupting across the Middle East. U.S. Central Command denies that a ship has been struck after Iran's Fars news agency claimed 2 missiles hit a U.S. Navy frigate. Trump says the U.S. Navy will guide trapped ships from Strait of Hormuz amid very positive talks with Iran. Let me know your thoughts. It looks like today that war is erupting in the Middle East. The UAE says that it had intercepted 3 drones that were fired by Iran. United Arab Emirates has intercepted 3 missiles fired from Iran over its territorial waters, with a 4th one crashing into the sea, the Gulf country's defense ministry said in a post on X on Monday today. It comes after authorities in the United Arab Emirates, the Fujairah, said on Monday that a fire broke out at the Fujairah oil industry zone following what they described as a drone attack originating from Iran. Civil defense teams were deployed immediately to contain the blaze. Fujairah Media Office said in a statement, and you can see this is the live feeds coming out 1 hour ago. UAE says it intercepted 3 drones. So this is all just coming out on the live feeds right now. Now take a look. The United States is saying that they are hitting Iran back. So attacks are unfolding today. Just in the past couple of hours,
Attacks are unfolding today. U.S. destroys 6 Iranian small boats and shoots down missiles and drones. U.S. admirals. So they're over there attacking. Okay, they're in position. They're attacking.
Destroys 6 Iranian small boats and shoots down missiles and drones, U.S. Admiral says. This update coming out right now. So we're taking a look at the live feeds that are breaking at this moment. The U.S. military has destroyed 6 Iranian small boats and intercepted Iranian cruise missiles and drones fired at ships and commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz by Tehran. U.S. Admiral Brad Cooper, the head of Central Command, said on Monday today. Cooper said that he has strongly advised Iranian forces to remain clear of U.S. military assets as it launches the operations.
Have been launched by Iran. 3 of them, he says, were successfully intercepted over the United Arab Emirates territorial waters, and 1 of them fell into the sea. So it doesn't sound as though there's any damage, but again, 4 of those missiles launched from Iran, and the information that we have coming in from the UAE's Ministry of Defense. As we get more details on the situation developing there, we will keep you updated here on Live Now from Fox. Stop paying those greedy telecom.
I want to get a little more of this footage of these vessels.
You have it, you guys. So that is one of those videos that are coming up with the breaking news. In addition to that, let's take a look at some more here. Let me switch over the screens for some updates so that way you can see the latest coming out as we're hearing that the attacks are going on.
Central Command says U.S. forces.
The attacks are going on. Did you hear that? Advance for the attack.
Coming out as we're hearing that the attacks are going on.
Central Command says U.S. forces in the waters off of Iran have now been working to restore safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. They are implementing the humanitarian project, which President Trump has now called Project Freedom. He announced it yesterday. CENTCOM posted this today. As a first step, 2 U.S.-flagged merchant vessels have successfully transited through the Strait of Hormuz and are safely headed on their journey. Iran state-run media this morning claimed the Revolutionary Guard hit a U.S. warship with 2 missiles. CENTCOM said, no, that did not happen. Iran then said it had fired warning shots. Meanwhile, back to the truth, the defense ministry of the UAE says Iran did shoot down, or it had to shoot down 3 missiles offshore as a 4th splashed into the water. We understand those may have come from Iran. Brian Yenis is live for us in Tel Aviv, Israel, with the latest. So, Brian, some breaking news last hour. A lot going on where you are today.
No doubt about it, Harris. And so for the first time since this U.S.-Iran ceasefire was brokered 4 weeks ago, Iran is actually initiating attacks right now. We know that the United Arab Emirates missile defense system is activated. 4 missiles were fired from Iran to the UAE. 3 were shot out of the air, intercepted over the sea. The 4th fell into the water. We also know that Iran has launched drones against the United Arab Emirates, one hitting an oil facility in Fujairah, sparking a fire there. 2 other Iranian drones hit hit an empty oil tanker as it made its way through the Strait of Hormuz. And at this hour, right now, actually, CENTCOM Navy Admiral Brad Cooper is updating reporters on Project Freedom, the humanitarian effort right now to safely guide an estimated 800 cargo ships and tankers and 20,000 crew members out of the strait. Admiral Cooper says that CENTCOM has defeated multiple Iranian ballistic missile launches, drones, and has sunk 6 Iranian small boats this morning. CENTCOM is strongly advising Iranian forces to stay away as it guides ships through what the U.S. is calling an enhanced security area along Oman's territorial waters. So far, at least 2 U.S.-flagged merchant ships have successfully crossed through the strait. Iranian state media, by the way, is now claiming that Iran fired warning shots at U.S. destroyers in the strait. It says that the Strait of Hormuz is its territory and is warning that any American interference will be considered a violation of the ceasefire. Just moments ago, the commander-in-chief of Iran's army posted on X, "Every inch of these waters is within the range of our will. The American aircraft carriers with the stealth of radar silence imagined that they could approach the Strait of Hormuz, but our response was fire. Cruise missiles and combat drones took to the skies. The security of this region is Iran's red line." Here, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. So, as you can see, what are they doing? Hey, they're warring. Okay, they're warring. Let's get this. 203 and 9 in the NLT. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors, let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Prepare for war. What kind of war? Get ready for war. Where's that holy, holy, holy? Prepare for holy war. Let all the men of war advance and attack. That's what's going on. The men of war are attacking. They're advancing. They're attacking right now. Right? Soldiers are marching. They're writing brand new laws. Will we all fight together for the most important cause? No. Right? So they're advancing. The warriors. All right? So more of the same. What is it going to end in? What is it going to culminate in? Not only are they advancing, they're all being gathered in the Valley of the Yahushua. Here comes China, here comes Russia. Now that the fighting has started again in earnest, everybody's headed that way. Right, bringing their munitions and their weapon systems with them, including Babylon the Great. Okay. So, I mean, you know where it's going. It's Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past. Behold, the third woe is coming shortly. So with that, we pray the elect ratify you, brothers and sisters. Shalom.